Coach Joe Lucas here, and welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. What I want to do is dissect my world, the coaching world, and give all of you reasons why to either hire the right coach or to fire the wrong coach. Let's face it, in our industry today, there is a plethora of coaches. When I started back in 1993, I can think of maybe 4 or 5 of us who pioneered this industry. Now, there are probably up to 500 to 1,000 business coaches that specialize with advisors. Now, why is that? Well, I think there's 2 reasons. Number 1, you all make a lot of money. Number 2, you're all insecure in your own way. I think maybe the 3rd reason, the bigger firms downsize their training programs. And so you have a lot of these people out there who operate in the corporate world who are very linear in their thinking, and they come out hang their shield. And that's cool, right? But what's happened now, and I'll tell you my personal story. Initially, when people came into my world to retain me, I was by far the first coach they ever worked with. So they didn't really there's no experience to draw upon. They may have gone to other coaching programs, other training programs, conferences, but they never really had a one-on-one, in-depth relationship. Today, what I find is, they're searching. Why? I spent time with this person, I did this program, I did that program. And just for the context of this episode, I'm not going to get into names. I want to, but you know what? That's not the relevant part here. The point being is, I'm getting people now that will tell me, well, I went to this program and that, and I hired this person. And I always ask, well, how'd it go? What you like, what you didn't like? And, there's always going to be some parts of things I think you can pull away from. But bottom line is, if they were really satisfied, they would still be with that person. See, my clients are with me for an average of 12 to 13 years. I've got clients now, doesn't mean everybody's like, that's an average, right? I've got clients that have been with me 23, 24 years, and I have people will stay with me for 6 months to a year, get some stuff done, they go back. But the funny part about that is, I would say 2/3 of them, at some point, a year, 3, 5 years later, they come back. They want more because they couldn't find what I offer. So let's talk about the different kind of coaches, and I will put them into three areas perhaps, and tell you why, each one's important to a certain degree. And no particular order. It all depends what you're looking for. There's, first off, the practice management people, right? Get you organized, book segmentation, workflow, all that stuff, right? Maybe even give you an employee's manual, which is great, right? Get all that stuff. You need it. You got to have structure and systems and functionality around your business. No question about it. So is that important? Absolutely. The question is, can you find the right one who sees you for what you are? So here's the one thing I will say. You got to connect and resonate with the person, because it's their voice, it's their psychology, their belief system, their methodology. If you can't buy into the coach, don't do the program. Now, how does that work in other areas? So a lot of big coaching companies, right? They'll have their leader, the figurehead, the one that goes out there and does the talking and the speaking and the webinars, but you don't get to work with that person. You get to work with somebody under that person. And the person that's under that person is the one that matters, not this person, because they're not working with you, this person. So whatever sub-coach or level 2 coach that they give you, you better have some hard questions, and you better be able to build rapport, so it's like a duality. You've got to trust the program, but you also have to trust the person. Both, okay? So in the practice management world, which a lot of these big companies are really built around practice management, I'll tell you why. Because they can coach around systems. We have a system for that. Not achieving your results, we have a system for that. What I do, I coach around the person. Difference, right? So if somebody says, well, Joe, what's your system? I said, I don't know yet, because I don't know you. Because my system is going to be predicated upon what you tell me that you're missing, what you're lacking. Period. So the practice management people you need. In fact, I refer clients to practice management people. If they want like a red tail workflow, that ain't my bag. They want an employee manual? Hell no, I ain't writing that thing. No hell, no way, right? So I'll refer that out. Not a problem. The next kind of coach you're going to find, or system, you're going to find your marketing people. Some are better than others. They all promise a lot. Few deliver. I have a couple that do. So if you ever want to find out, reach out. I'll be happy to make that recommendation to you. But here's the thing. If you think you're going to stroke a check and fix your shit, you are sorely mistaken, my friend. It does not work that way. It just does not. See, the reason why marketing people get your money is because most advisors are so desperate for an answer to growth that they'll literally try anything. It's almost like a person, and let me give you it may not be the best analogy, but it's the one's in my mind right now. It's almost like you have a loved one who's ill and there's no cure. And you go online and you hear about this weird shit that goes on in some third world country. And you're half tempted to take your person there because you're so desperate for a solution. See, a lot of the marketing companies, they play on that. Like if you're not doing it and your competitor is, you're losing. Here's the problem with that. And by the way, some programs are really good. So if you want to talk to me about a seminar system, a direct mail program, an internet program, a lead program, I have clients who've done every one of them successfully, but I'm going to tell you why in a moment. So podcasts, videocasts, I've got clients that are rock stars at that. But I'm going to tell you why they are in a moment. So the marketing people, they have this thing, they sell it to you, and you go, right? You think you're going to solve your problem. Not true. So the practice management people add value. The marketing people add value. They don't solve your problem. They don't solve your problem. They're important, but they don't solve your problem. Now, why is that? Because here's the real work. Here's the real coaching. Here's the real evolution. You. See, I just had a relative, I'm not getting into names here. They went to this $20,000, $25,000, we're going to teach you how to work with centers of influence program, right? 20 grand. And it's all group, by the way, for the most part. And so they come into my world. And what's nice about my world is I always ask, and not on my time, I'll make a separate call. I said, tell me about the program. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you learn, how it works. And I always get briefed on what's going on. I don't view these people as competitors. I view them as colleagues, and some are just better than others. And I always find out, I say, look, that's a great system. You know what? That will work. So I endorse it. But tell me about your morning ritual. Tell me about your business plan. Tell me about your 5-year vision. Tell me why somebody should hire you. Tell me about your morning ritual. Tell me about your daily game plan. Tell me about your psychology. What are your fears, concerns, issues? Where are you strong? Where are you weak? Oh, now we get into the real shit. Because see, here's the reality. All that, the practice management people, the marketing people, they work on, and I'm going to give you a good analogy here because I really thought about this long and hard. What the practice management people do and the marketing people do, they work on the car. We have a race team, F1, NASCAR, kart, Indy, whatever you want, doesn't matter. BMX. There are two components of success. The vehicle that is part of the deal and the human being who operates it, the driver. So here's what practice management people do. Here's what marketing people do. They work on the cars, the chassis, systems. I watch F1. I love watching F1 because it's the most expensive sport. It's the most elite motorsport in the world. I'm telling you right now that you can have a great car, you have a shitty driver, you're screwed. A great driver can overcome a mediocre car in a lot of cases. See, what a lot of you trying to do is you're working on your car because that's a safe place, right? I don't need to look in the mirror. I don't look at myself. I don't need to own my flaws, my bad habits, my laziness. I don't need to own the fact that, people complain about their team. They hire practice managers, but it's a true story. So I'm teaching this leadership course later on this, July of this year, 2019. And I've had clients, and I've done it before at firms. It's elite. It is the elite leadership program in the industry. Because guess what? There aren't too many leadership programs in the industry. And I've had a couple of clients say, "Hey, I want to bring my team." I said, "Okay, tell me why you want to bring your team." "Well, I want you to work with them." I said, "Why?" "Well, because they're not getting it." I said, "Okay, so here's what you're asking me to do. You want me to be you. So instead of you stepping up and leading your team, which, by the way, I will not be there every day, you will be. You want to abdicate that responsibility to a third party because you don't want to deal with it. Then why the hell are you in business?" That's exactly what I said. I'm not like any other coach. I don't have time for bullshit. And if you bullshit me, I'm going to call you on it. So you've got to decide and be honest with yourself. Now, look, it's a formula. Yes, you have to have a very good car. But if you're ignoring the driver, you're making a fatal error, a flaw. And my work is driver-oriented. I teach clients how to do their morning ritual. We call it Magellan 8, Magellan Morning 8. We have Magellan Core Daily 5. I have a system of protocol to make people better people, to make advisors better advisors. Then you can actually operate the car. You can actually take advantage of all that practice management stuff, all that marketing stuff. I've got plenty of clients that I do one thing in their world, they have another coach or another organization. I'm totally cool with that. I don't care. I'm all about the client. I know what I'm great at. Like nobody's better at what I do than me. Do I know how to do practice management? No. Do I know how to put a employee manual like I said before? Hell no. So you can find that other places. You want technology integrations? I'm good with this, the iPhone. But if you want to tie your systems together and have Redtail talk to Centerpiece and connect with, XYZ, that ain't me. But I'll get you motivated, inspired, and get you organized to go find the right person. See, that's what I'm saying. I need a coach, but what coach do you want? See, this is where you got to be very clear with yourself. What is your true challenge? And what should be first? My experience, driver first, car second. Because if you put the car first, you're just going to be frustrated because you spend all this money, invest, and you're not realizing the maximum return on that investment because you've not realized the maximum you. And that's what it's really about. See, it's easy to stroke a check and look at something outside of the mirror. But the bottom line is it's all about the mirror. I built 2 coaching companies. 10 years ago, I hired a bunch of coaches, had a partner, and they did the marketing, we did the coaching. I hated it. You know why? Because nobody can do what I can do. Fact. Nobody's going to be able to dig in like I can dig in. Standards. So after about a year and a half of that, I blew it all up. I woke up one day because I became a manager of coaches. And they're whiny and needy. And I don't got time for that shit. So I blew it up. 4 years later, or 4 years ago, I said, let's have another bite at the apple. I'm ready to scale. I'm ready to grow. So I did it again. Hired coaches. Trained them. Did it for about a year and a half. Hated it. You know why? Guess what I had to do all day? Market. Get people into my funnel to feed my coaches. Guess what I was doing less of? Coaching. The shit I love. The shit I'm born to do. So guess what I did one day? I woke up, blew it up again. Fired them all. Told them to take their clients with them. Totally cool with that. And they were pissed. Very pissed at me. But you know what? Had to be done. You got to know what you're excellent at and what your calling is. So when you're hiring a coach, do they talk about their systems or do they talk about themselves? Do you resonate with that person? because you're going to be making not just an economic investment, you're going to be making a time investment, but most importantly, if done properly, you're going to be making an emotional investment. And you don't want to get it wrong. So what are some of the key things to take a look at? Number one, how do they onboard you? Do they sell you on signing up and pressure you and do takeaways and you got to do this, you got to do it by this date, stuff like that? Because they got to sell you and working with them, that should be a clue. If they got to sell you on saying yes, if they have to have dedicated salespeople, twist your arm to say yes to something, does that really make a lot of sense? The second thing, how much time do they give you to decide? So what's their process? So like for me, and yes, I'm going to use myself as comparison because I know how I want to be treated. I only take on a client after 30 days of evaluation. Like there's steps. You got to qualify. You got to apply personally to work with me. Magellan Network, my group game, my movement, you get 30 days in there. We don't ask you for shit. Name and email address. You're in the game. You want to stay, you stay. If you don't, no harm, no foul. Best of luck to you. Because I know that I am not right for everybody. And if any coach tells you they can work with anybody, that's bullshit. They'll take everybody's money. Doesn't mean they'll be successful. Next, how long is the engagement? So after the onboarding process, salesmanship, do they have mandatory timelines? A year, 6 months, pay. Do they ask you to pay up front no matter what? Or do they allow you to pay as you go? Matters. Now I know some of them sit there, well, Joe, it's all about the commitment. You gotta get that. You get that money front, they're committed. No, they're not. They can walk away. If money commits somebody, they're committing for the wrong reason. They're committing because they don't want to lose money, not because they want to change. One last thing. Now I'll let you get off and do your thing today. And this is really, really important. Under no circumstance do you ever hire a coach who does not have a long history in this business. I've seen it over and over again and more recently, where I've got advisors coming into my space. They met some dude or some person at the local chamber of commerce and they're an executive coach or they're a leadership coach and they come in, they don't know jack shit about our business. They don't understand what compliance means. They don't understand what an ADV is. They don't know our space. So what you're going to do is you're going to pay them to learn on you. You do not have the time for that. So it doesn't matter to me who you want to hire. Just make sure they understand. So you better interview them back. How many advisors have they been working with? How long have they been working with advisors? What percentage of their client base is advisors? Now mine's 100%. I do nothing but advisors. And have so for nearly 25 years. I coached for 25 plus, but honed it after 23, after a year or two. So I know this inside, I know the space inside out. I evolved with it. So just make sure you get somebody like that. And next, don't be cheap. And I'm saying this respectfully. Well, there's some dude, he's only going to, this guy only wants $300 a month. This person here wants $1,000. I'm going to do 301 because it's cheaper. You would not, if you had a think about this. You needed your head cut open. One doctor is 1 year out of medical school and they've got a $20,000 rate for the surgery. Or there's this person who's got 25 years out of medical school, has done 5,000 different craniotomies. They're $100,000. Forget the insurance scenario. Which one do you want operating on your head? The cheap one? Or the one that has been there, done that countless times? Experience with a coach matters. Because coaching is all about transference of experience. So just make sure when you're picking your coach, you vet them well, You vet them over time. You ask questions. I love it when some people ask me questions. Well, Joe, how long have you been doing? How many clients do you have? What's the typical situation looks like? What's your average length of engagement? When I say 13 years, they go, what? I want questions. I love them. You know why? Because I can answer them. So don't get seduced in some, speaker with their program and hey, go sign up and we'll do it in the moment, because it will leave a bad look. I literally started this industry in this space. Do not sit and make a wrong choice. It will give you a bad experience and it makes our profession look bad. And I want that to stop. Okay? So, thanks for listening and watching this episode of Magellan Network Show. Love to get some comments. Love to get some reviews on iTunes. Hey, we're a little bit of a startup here as far as the podcast and video blog goes. So if you could go to iTunes if you're listening there and give us 5 stars and give us some comments. Love to get them. And I'll see you on the next episode. So there you have it. If you really enjoyed watching this episode, go ahead and subscribe to the Magellan Network Show with Coach Joe here on YouTube. And remember, I'm always here to help you become a better entrepreneur, business owner, and financial advisor. With that, I'll see you next time on the Magellan Network Show with me, Coach Joe. Take care and goodbye.